Why is it that people on YouTube have a tendency, when shown information they don't like, to seek out a person to fill their life with hate? It is purely a lack of thinking, because if you think even for a second, you would realize that for these people to get better and understand what's really happening, we have to simply refuse to enable them and remain informed. If Ricegum tells you to give him 10K, absolutely, lay into him for hours if you deem so necessary, but don't seek him out randomly in the YouTube comments in lieu of iDubbbz. That only gives him fuel for the fire because he can say iDubbbz sent you, and that looks bad even if you make the most amazing argument. If someone were going to convince you of the things that they believe in, would they really come at you with a verbal weapon? Or would it be someone who could relate to you but wouldn't let you be a jerk? Anyone who is trying to get better wouldn't take criticism from someone who's obviously pissed, but would probably hear you out if you were being reasonable and actually have something to say. And once you do, the place for it quickly becomes your own form of content, not the comments in regards of someone else's, where you are also allowed to be plenty mean because it isn't their comments. Oh, and remember that when you do, it is a completely selfish thing to do. It was never about them, because if it was, you'd be trying to help them change. It was to make you feel better, and that's okay. If you do want them to change, though, you need to talk to them and be normal around them until they try their weirdness again. Then shut it down as hard as you can as soon as it starts. Being mean to them from the start just makes a bad power dynamic and teaches them, because of confirmation bias, that they're actually wrong when they're normal and right when they freak out, because it's what they want to see. It's a slow burn to get away from abusive tendency. The only way, though, is through 0% enabling. So don't enable everyone in the internet to have an absolute Onision unraveling. The truth of the matter is that the person making the video hit all the points they needed to, and you don't need to help. Although it's understandable to be upset too. If the other person wants an interaction, they'll foster it for themselves. They don't need an in-between friend to white knight for them when they're putting the argument where the other person will inevitably see it themselves on purpose. Your intentions mean nothing if your actions are someone's reason to fight the other side of the battle, if you will. If you sit around and think about anyone you don't like, chances are you are letting that person have power over your life, even if it is by your own choosing. If you sit around and think mean things about Jeff Bezos, it means nothing unless you make those things applicable, except that you have sat around with Bezos on your mind for a while. He doesn't feel bad when you do, so why feel bad for his nonsense? Instead, you should put your energy towards making a real dent on the things you care about, like supporting Amazon employees unionizing. Seriously, do that. For any given problem, there will be an answer, but if you just want to yell at the problem, don't do it after the engineers have been working on it for like a day. Thanks. For people making comments to fix problems, I also want to point out, if people around you look up to you frequently, it might be a worthwhile endeavor to just let the world in on your thoughts, even if anonymously, to see if you are what people have been really looking for, because we all want someone just entertaining. Just be careful what content you put out and be real with yourself about what you're doing and what you make. You don't have to have Inside 2 on the back burner to be interesting. But if you're not happy with the content you upload, chances are it won't get views. So don't take stagnancy personally. The most important thing, no matter what you choose to do, is to have an open mind. We are so early in the age of the internet. Things will change, and you will need to change with them. Back in like 2010, hate comment spamming was the norm, but that was also because we didn't really conceptualize the idea that every comment was a person who was real, and so was every poster. New ideas will come, and they will be earth shattering, quote unquote, if you are set in your ways. So be water, my friend. So, Mr. Ballbuster, what can I do? No less than hilarious comments at someone else's expense. What should I do with the mountains of anti-content seemingly made for the sole purpose of mirroring the content that people on YouTube do watch? Watch their videos, or clips from others, whatever floats your goat, and firsthand try to catch them doing their nefarious thing for yourself, with nobody else pointing it out. Once you did that, or if you already can just fine, put your opinion out there. But be ready to be wrong too. A great example of a really hard one is Gary Vee. He really knows how to roll with the punches and pull publicity, but after his TMG appearance, he opened an NFT cafe. It was a play, again. But he totally poker faces when asked to do something meme-y. And if I'm not mistaken, it's because if he showed how happy he actually was, we would all know it wasn't the joke. It's the publicity that could come from the joke that makes him happy. His only understanding of life is manipulation, and it's very easy to spot when it's what you're looking for. And more importantly, opinions like that are what make great videos, even if you're wrong. Oh, and if you make it to uploading a video, be ready for people to just vomit their personality into the comment section. It can be great. It can be.